Hello everybody, my name's Hocus Pocus, and welcome back to the Minecraft Let's Play. If you were with me for the last episode, you will remember that we are working over here at the tree farm, getting a few things done here and there. Those things that we managed to get done involved getting this part of the ceiling in place, so we've got a 5-wide arch on the left hand side. We also have another 5-wide arch on the right hand side, as you can see. And hopefully sometime in the near future, we're going to link these two arches together and create a nice looking ceiling for this room. Also, we went ahead and finished up this wall here. So this is the chest wall. It holds a few essential items for the farm, including shears, some grass blocks in case we need to replace any of this. It's got some saplings and also some bone meal. We've got a place to store wood in case that's what we decide to do. And also, last episode, we added in a nice little jukebox in case we want to listen to some rather cheeky tunes whilst we're getting the job done around here. And I think that's a cool addition, especially once we start getting some of the better CDs in the game. I'll definitely be throwing a few in there whilst we're working around the base. Aside from that, we got this huge glass pane put in place. It's not something that you can miss very easily. And then coming down the water chute here, we cleaned up this part of the wall here because this pillar was slightly misaligned. We had a wooden pillar that ran from this block to this block, and we just moved it over to the left by 1 block, and also removed a pillar that was standing between this one and this one to leave a huge flat wall. So I think all in all, we did a good job of cleaning up a bit of the area. And something else I didn't mention was that we actually got rid of a bunch of stone here. You can see it's nice and open in this sort of, I called it a lobby area in the last episode. It's not really a lobby, is it? It's more of a square in the middle of our base. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just an opening that leads off in a few different directions, but it is a lot more open, as I said, now that we've cleared out the stone that was in the way of this glass pane, and it also allows us to have a good view in and out of the farm. So I think, first things first, you will notice that my pickaxe is down to its very last legs, and that's something we need to deal with. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go and revisit the Guardian farm for the first time since we've been working on it in the last few episodes. And once we've headed over there, repaired a few things, and made sure that we're ready for the episode ahead, we will come back to the base and get started on a little bit of work. Wow, so it really doesn't take long at all when you come over to the Guardian farm to repair your items, and really, the skeleton farm pales in comparison to this thing. The skeleton farm takes ages to repair my tools, but this farm takes no time at all, and I'm glad we've got it underway now. It's probably quicker actually to fly all the way out here and repair your items than it is to spend time in the skeleton farm. The skeleton farm, as I said, does take forever. We came down into the storage area because I want to grab some more food before we head out. The cooked cod, you seem to go through it quite quick, and I mean, I'm not sure of the actual explanation for this, but it's probably because it doesn't actually heal that much. It only does 2.5 haunches, I think. So it's not as good as the salmon. But that's fine. We're dealing with what we've got. So there we go. We've got quite a few stacks coming back with us. I'm just going to double check to see if there are any more full stacks. And if there are, we're going to grab those as well. It doesn't look like it to me, though. And now that I've got the particles on over here, we're actually realizing that there are a few areas of the farm that actually have some issues with the water dripping through, which I'm not too fussed about, honestly. We could fix that quite easily, but I never noticed it before because we always had the particles turned down to minimal, and that was to stop lag when we were around the farm, if you guys didn't know, because of course the soul sand and the bubbles cause quite a bit of lag with the particles all the way up. However, we're done here, so we're going to head back to base and get work started. Okay, so now we are back at base and we have everything organized, including a fully repaired diamond pickaxe that is ready to tear through some stone. I think I've decided what we are going to do. So we discussed earlier that the roof, or the ceiling I should say, of the tree farm is in a state now where we can try to join up the arches on either side. So I think what we should do is we should sink our pick into a bit of this stone, try and take out as much of it as possible, and get a good chunk of this ceiling in place in today's episode. So you might have saw just a second ago, I've brought my record with me. I'm going to pop it in the jukebox. There we go. I'm going to listen to some tunes. I'm going to get the pickaxe out, and we are going to tear through some of this stone and try and get the ceiling as much complete, or as much of the ceiling complete as possible. Take a look, you guys. Take a look, because this is the first time you are seeing the tree farm with masses of space above the trees, and it is a It's an unusual sight because the tree farm has looked claustrophobic, slightly claustrophobic for a while now. And seeing it like this is kind of cool, actually. So we've got the arches on either side, as you can see. We're going to be connecting those ever so soon. So don't worry about that. Of course, we have got 2 blocks left to destroy. And it is approximately about 2 hours later than it was when I recorded the last clip. And the reason for that is because my dad was actually good enough to give me his match pass to watch the team that we both follow play football today, or soccer for you North Americans. And I spent, I was going to watch it whilst I played, but I haven't been able to watch them for a while now. So I thought I'd take the hour and a half to watch the game and take a little break from playing Minecraft. And now I'm back. So we've got the job done. And there go the last 2 blocks. I'm just going to try and gather as many of these entities as I can, just so that we can pick up a few of the resources that we managed to hammer out from taking the roof down. And our inventory is actually full. So what we're going to do is, instead of that, make our way out of the farm, make our way back to storage, and drop a bit of this off. Because we, as I just mentioned and showed you, have filled the inventory. Also, we've been dropping off so much stone that we've filled up that chest as well. So that's another issue we have to get over. And I think I have the perfect solution. Well, actually, I already have a solution. I'm going to take this item frame. No, I'm not, because we don't have space for it. I'm going to actually drop off that granite, take the item frame like so. We've actually already stored some stone in a separate chest, so we've got storage ready to go for this, and it is right here because this wall is actually full now, I think. Oh wait, it's not. We have 1 chest to go, but actually I am going to go ahead and stick with my first decision because we've got a lot of stone incoming, so it's good to have a couple of double chests to put it in instead of just 1. So we're going to just get rid of a few things here like this. Get rid of that. We got some iron and coal as well there, so that's good to see. Actually, digging out that area has provided quite a bit of iron. I'll quickly give you a look at that before we move on. So as you can see, we've managed to get over a stack from just hanging around digging there. We got a little bit of gold as well, not too much, but I think we'll actually go ahead and stick this in the furnace. That probably makes the most sense before we skip to any more building. Just so that we've got these materials smelting up, because I don't want to let the ores build up too much in the chest. That doesn't make sense. Oops, that wasn't supposed to go there. I can't access the chest. There we go. So split, 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 and then just pop half in each like so. There we go. So the furnaces are on, the ores are smelting. It is time for us to take the next steps. I came over to small storage to grab some wood to get the ceiling started, but I realized we have another issue that is facing us. It's not something that we can't overcome though, so we're quickly going to place down our enchanting setup, which we really do need to find a permanent home for. It's not good to be pulling it out of a chest each time we need it, but you know, sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do. So we're actually going to be crafting a new axe and enchanting it because... Actually, I'm going to check what the cost would be to repair our axe. It might be feasible. We've repaired it quite a few times though, so I'll give it a chance. And since we have the Guardian farm, we're on 65 levels. It's not like we're lacking in that area, so we might be able to get away with repairing it. Let me just quickly give that a shot. If not, we will be enchanting it. So let's just see. Oh, 5 levels. Okay. There goes the anvil as well, so we paid a price. But that's fine. That means that we don't have to go ahead and enchant a Newman, which I am more than happy to hear. There we go. So we can get rid of that. And the reason why we need our axe is because we're actually quite low on wood. So we're going to need to go and harvest some more of that stuff. We are almost at a point now where we are going to be bringing in a few of the details into the ceiling. And I have a little bit of a worry. We've got a few bat friends as well. This room is obviously big enough to spawn them in, which is kind of cool actually. I don't mind that. Got a few, a bit of nature hanging around the area. It kind of fits the theme, right? So the problem that I'm facing is it looks kind of flat from here. So I'm hoping that when we pull all of the scaffolding down and when everything is finally in place, looks are deceiving, you know? So hopefully these looks are also deceiving and things are looking cool. Let's see if we can get a little look at it. It's quite difficult because, of course, the dark oak trees, they have a canopy, so you can't really see that well. I think it'll be fine though, but there are a couple of resources that we need to gather up before we continue with this. One of those resources being leaves, oak leaves in particular. We're going to go outside and grab some of those in a second. The other of those resources is iron, which we should have some cooking up here. So, we should have some finished cooking here. And we can go ahead and stick that in there as well, I think. And we are going to need some iron bars. So, I'm not sure how many. We're going to be quite conservative with our amounts at the moment, just so that we don't overspend on the iron, you know. So, I'll take a stack. I think we've got another 14 iron bars in our small storage area. I'll combine those to the total. And that will give us 78 to go with for now, which should get us quite far, I would hope. So there we go. 64 plus 14 is 78. We can also convert these bars into blocks, like so, for storage. There we go. And then we've got another 4 gold bars to go in, and some more coal ore, which we do need to eventually mine up. So I am going to go ahead, take these shears outside, probably craft ourselves a new pair as well, because they don't last long. And I'm going to grab us a few leaf blocks, a couple of other things that we might need, and we'll go and fix up the ceiling to completion. I sold myself a little bit short here, actually. I only brought 1.5 pairs of shears, as you saw in the last clip. So I don't think we're going to have enough leaves to finish the job, but I will take back what we have and make use of what I've got. And we're also going to quickly discuss this, because I really fail to see what has happened here, but we've got a huge hole in the side of the reed farm, or the sugarcane farm. I mean, the only possible explanation I can think of is maybe that lightning started a small fire. Aside from that, not really sure. Maybe Endermen have some sort of congregational meeting here, and it just causes them to pick up blocks. I mean, I'm really picking at straws there, but yeah, I came outside to discover that our sugarcane farm had a new entrance to it, which we don't want. So I'm just going to repair that, as you just saw. And we're going to head back in the base now, make use of the resources that we've got. And if we require more, then I guess we'll be back outside to gather them. Let's have a track for this segment of recording. I'm going to play Cat again on our jukebox over here in the tree farm. So I took out a few of the trees, the top layer of the farm itself, and just take it in. This is what we've got. This is what we came up with. There are a few things that maybe we could change here and there. One of them that would be maybe an interesting thing to change, similarly to the wall storage room with the silos, where it got rather dark towards the top of the ceiling. We could add a few lights in here. It's not so bad here because the room's quite wide open, so you'd expect to see dark patches towards the ceiling. I suppose that's why it looks rather okay in this way. But as I did mention, we could throw a few lights up there, but I'm really undecided on that at the moment and wouldn't really know where to put them either, because it's hard when you have even numbers to work with, and we've got even numbers up here, so we'd maybe have to throw 2 lights in every other patch of leaves, maybe, or 2 lights in on each patch of leaves. I don't know. We'll think about it, because it's something to consider. And of course, this room still is far from completion. We have this huge slab here that needs to be dealt with, and I seriously don't know what we're going to do with it either. There are countless things we could do. We could even have room to go ahead and extend the glass pane that we've got over there, but you know, we'll have to wait and see, because I want to see how this part of the ceiling turns out before we go ahead and do anything with the glass there. And I think that we've got a good baseline to work from. I think this ceiling looks quite cool, actually. It makes the room look nice and grand, which is what it should look like, considering that we're growing trees in here, you know? We're growing trees underground and indoors. It's kind of a necessity to have a grand room for it to happen in. So I'm going to go ahead and replant the trees, because we're done taking a look for now. And I'd like to get your guys' feedback on this ceiling. Just let me know what you think about it, if you have any opinions on the matter, because I think it looks quite cool. But of course, if you guys aren't so fond of it, we can make changes. And if you do want changes, also suggest the changes as well, so I know what you want to see. Anyway, we are yet to be out of time for this video, so I'm sure we can fit something else in. So something that I've been pondering over since a recent episode is the lighting above the leaves in the silo room for the wool storage. And I kind of am swayed into the thinking that those lanterns need to be replaced with lamps. So I think we're going to do that very quickly here. And the reason for that is because it kind of just doesn't fit the theme of the room for me. I don't know how really to explain it. It just looks off when I look up there and see the blue coming through the leaves. So we are going to go ahead and fix that and hope that things do change for the better. I'm pretty damn sure they will. So we've got 3 blocks of redstone, 3 redstone lamps. Aside from that, we're going to need some blocks to sort of hitch ourselves up there because, you know, scaffolding is the way to go until they add a way to, I guess, hover in Minecraft. You can fly, but you can't hover. I'm sure they're not going to add that, though, because that would kind of be creative mode, but with survival resource harvesting restrictions, which doesn't really make sense, so I doubt they'd ever do that. However, if they do, it will be much appreciated by myself because it would help massively with building, in situations like this at least. So here we go. We're creating our scaffolding. I kind of want to just centralize ourselves. There we go. And then we can make the changes that we require. So if we dig up another block, we can just pop in the redstone, the lamp, and then the leaf block. And we'll just do the same thing across all of the lanterns. And once again, the reason for this is just because the lanterns don't really fit the aesthetic of the room. I feel like with lamps and lanterns, you need to either use one or the other. If you use both, they don't really match. So considering the silos use the lamps, I think it makes more sense to have lamps in the ceiling as well. So we're going to just make things a bit more... What am I trying to say here? We're just making the ceiling lamps match the remainder of the room, I guess. So there we go. We are going to take a quick look at this once I've destroyed the scaffolding here, which is a tentative job because I don't want to fall. There we go. Job done. So let's head down the ladder, grab our blocks that we lost in the process, take a look up, and yes, much, much better. Because the reason, again, I'm just kind of trying to highlight the issue that I have. So you come into the room, you see the silos. Oh, look, they have lamps attached to all of them. Then you look up and there's lanterns in the ceiling. That doesn't really make sense to me. It needs to be a series of similar blocks to create an overall design. So I think using the lamps up there makes a much more sense than using the lanterns. So I'm glad that we made that fix. And it's going to get that monkey off my back, if you will. I'm sorry about this, you guys, but I'm really struggling to think of something that we can go ahead and get started with that isn't going to take that much time. And of course, we don't really have long left for this episode. So I figured what we'd do is we'd head outside because there is one thing that has been niggling me that I've wanted to do. So I think it's about time we get it done. And, wow, I was about to say some of you may have guessed what it is, but probably not because it's kind of... something we haven't looked at in a long time, and we've got 2 creepers here. I do want to try and kill these guys if I can separate them. Here, I'll give one a hit and run. There we go. That should bring him down to 1 hit eventually when he burns up enough. His friend is still pursuing us alongside him, though, which is a semi-issue. If we can get a hit in here, we can get out of there before he blows. Okay, I think we hit the wrong one. Silly us. We will deal with this, though. We can get one of them in a sec, hopefully. Just want to keep strafing so that we don't cause one to blow. There we go. Take them out. And the reason why we kill creepers whenever possible is to get the gunpowder, which is used to create rockets. Something that we need to keep stocked up whenever possible. So, wow. Let me take a look a second because this place is awfully congested. So what we're going to do is, and on a side note, we actually have quite a lot of resources out here hanging around. I need a block, but I will quickly show you. We've got quite a lot of stuff out here that we should probably get into the base eventually. What we want to do is take a bite to eat. We need to get in here. We're going to lose probably 1 villager. There we go, that's fine. And I kind of just want to disable this thing. Finding the middle, placing a block should do the trick. I think, if I'm remembering correctly what I heard in the video that I watched about this thing. So that should now be disabled, and what I wanted to check is if the disabling of this farm causes the villagers down in the base to act any differently, because as you know, they kind of walk backwards and forwards, and I'm thinking that the reason behind that is because they can detect the village, but obviously aren't close enough to function in it correctly, so hopefully the removal of that, the removal of the sun's access to those doors will shut down the village, causing the villagers in the base to behave ever so differently, which I would like because it might make them a bit easier to move around when it comes to creating our villager trading hall. So I'm going to head down there and just quickly check if that is the case or not. I'm hoping it is. We've got ourselves 6 gunpowder as well, which is nice. That'll create us another 18 rockets. Okay, so I've got my fingers crossed. Well, I don't, because obviously I'm playing the game, but metaphorically I have my fingers crossed that these villagers now will be behaving slightly differently to what they currently are. And I've highlighted it a few times now that they do tend to just walk backwards and forwards between 2 set blocks, which I really don't know the reason behind, but as I said, I'm predicting it's because of the positioning of the village above them. Because the village, I purposely built it above this area so that when we are in our base, we're loading it in the chunks. So hopefully now, these guys... No, they're still performing their little act. Let's see if we can disrupt them. If not, it's not a big deal, as I say, but... where is that slime? Let me go kill this slime first. I'm getting sidetracked here, but I think he's by the portal. That's what I would imagine. There he is. Come here, buddy. I often go into the nether and find slimes in the nether, actually, which is kind of funny, because they spawn here quite often, it seems. But there we go. There's another 23 slime balls, as if we need them. We currently don't. We've got quite a lot in the farm as well, which I haven't been showing you guys. Oh, excuse me. I haven't been showing you guys, but we've got a few slime balls built up in there. So this is the issue we're facing. The villagers, for some reason, think this is a good idea. And I don't really know how to stop it. So it's almost as if... You know what I mean? It's almost as if they're detecting a village but can't really get to it. So they're sort of maneuvering between 2 areas in hopes that suddenly they might find the village. I don't really know. Anyway, I was hoping that would make the change. Of course it didn't. We might actually go a step further soon and destroy the doors up there to see if that makes a difference. Because you never know. I haven't really read too deeply into the dynamics of villagers and villages. So I'm not very well versed on it. So we might be doing something wrong. Anyway, I think that is going to be it for today's video, you guys. I really do hope you enjoyed what you saw today. I'm very pleased with the outcome of the ceiling that we've constructed in this room. It did take quite a while, so it's been one of those episodes, you know, where it probably seems like I didn't get much done in terms of solid cold hard evidence, which we have above us. But in reality, I did put a lot of work in here, and I hope you guys can appreciate that, and that I still entertain you with the commentary I provide and the other small niggling issues that we deal with on the side. I really hope that does also provide you some entertainment. So if you did like the video, be sure to drop a like down below. That helps me out, helps the channel out. Helps the channel? What's a channel? Helps the channel out and allows me to sort of gauge the reaction that I'm getting from you guys. So it's always great when you can do that for me. Also, if you have any questions, suggestions, any feedback, any comments in general, anything that you want to say at all, please drop that down below. I love reading comments and I respond to all of them. So definitely, if there's anything you want to say, anything you want to ask, make sure you do that. And finally, if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed yet, I need to get my words out properly. If you're new around here and haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that big red button down below and subscribe to the channel, because that will allow you to stay tuned to this series and any other videos that I do decide to post. So once again, you guys, thank you very much for taking precious time out of your day to come and watch my video. It means a lot to me, it really does. Make sure to take care of yourselves, look after your families, of course, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye for now.